Hey there! I am currently sitting in a sea of boxes. My phone is on one, next to another. There's one in front of me, one diagonally in front of me, one next to me, one behind me here, and one behind me here. And also another here, but I'm not really counting that one because that's being packed with stuff that's not coming with me. There are a whole bunch of boxes on my bed because a week from tomorrow is the big drive. I'm actually going to college. What the heck? Also, I'm actually finally doing something I've talked about doing for a very long time and posting the first of these Dig Deep videos where I talk about Dig, or what the heck I did for 3 weeks in July. So that's cool. I'm not exactly as prepared for this video as I'd like to be, but that's okay, because I'm gonna do a bunch of these. So, cool. Before I get any further, I'm gonna tell you why I'm doing these videos. And there are 2 reasons. For myself, and for other people. For you all. So the first is for myself. While I was at Dig, they told us to do this thing called debriefing, which is basically where after an event you think about it and you process it and you think about how it's gonna affect your life. Sometimes an event will affect your life, and debriefing is about minimizing that impact. Usually that's with negative events. Other times an event won't impact your life unless you intentionally set out time to debrief and try really hard. Sometimes there's this middle ground where an event will kind of impact your life, and the more you think about it and the more you intentionally sit down and be like, what did I do? Then the more it will impact your life, and the more you can control how it'll impact your life. So they wanted us to do that. Dig was in the 3rd thing. It was a Class C event. It's gonna impact my life, and the more I think about it, the more it's gonna impact my life. The second reason I wanted to do this public debriefing is for everyone else. First of all, if anyone stumbles upon these videos and is like, I want to do this Dig thing, do it. Please do it. You don't have to belong to the Christian Reformed Church to do it. I don't. I'm a member of the Presbyterian Church of the United States of America. I was the only non-CRC kid. Totally chill. I got candy for it once. You also don't have to be planning on going to Calvin. I was the only incoming freshman who is going to Calvin, and only half of the incoming high school seniors are planning on going to Calvin. They kind of want you to be a Christian. That's a thing. It is for Christians. They will kind of want you to have a home church, and you kind of need to be able to come up with $500 somehow. Whether that's through fundraising, through your church, through your rich grandma, through your summer job, I suppose through your drug dealings. They don't really ask questions about where you got it. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. I hope this is a good advertisement thing, and also I hope that if I learned stuff, then when I'm talking about it, some people can learn stuff too. I think a lot of times when I talk about being a Christian, I talk about it abstractly, or I'm just reading the Bible, and this can get into more, what do some Christians do to help the world? Or what are tangible things Christians can implement in their faith? Things of that nature. So there's that. This video is not going to be like that. This video is going to kind of be an overview of the trip. What did we do? Cool? Cool. I don't care if it's cool with you. That's what it is. So first, on the last day, or my second to last day, I had us write elevator pitches, which I actually gave to someone on my flight home. But these elevator pitches were specifically to get people to give the program money. That was the objective, because it's a poor, underfunded program that is expensive to run, but is so worth it. But also, like, they are a starting point for conversations with people in our church, and people wherever, mostly from Christian contexts, to let people know what the heck we did for 3 weeks. Because when you disappear from your church, people are like, yo, where'd you go? What'd you do? This is my debrief. Dig is a 3-week program sponsored by Calvin Theological Seminary to guide rising high school seniors and college freshmen in discerning how they can live out a vocational calling in any career path, not just traditional church ministry. For about 10 days, all of us were at Calvin Theological Seminary learning about vocation in more of an academic sense with lectures and discussions with the seminary professors. Then for 10 days we were sent either to Chicago, or in my case Toronto, for more practical hands-on learning. And then finally we came back for a day or two of sharing stories and discussion. So that's kind of what we did. There were 24 kids, including me, and 8 leaders, 6 of whom were seminary students, and 2 of whom had just graduated from Calvin College. One of whom I think is planning on going to seminary at some point, and the other just isn't. Got involved because she had done her English internship by doing writing for DIG, I think. And then there were like 2 full-time staff people whose job at the seminary is to do DIG, so they just do it year round. We did a whole bunch of stuff. We had lectures, we had time to be alone in scripture, we had small groups. It was kind of like a 3-week retreat. We had free time. I don't know if you've seen my Twitter, but if you've seen the Gang Signs John Calvin rap album painting, that came from this. If you haven't, I did a painting of a picture of John Calvin, which I saw on a coffee mug at the seminary, and it looks like he's doing a gang sign, which is why I painted it. And we called it Gang Signs John Calvin, the coffee mug, and then I turned the painting to look like a rap album cover. I called it Total Depravity. There was a joke about explicit truth instead of explicit content. And then people wanted the painting, so I auctioned it off for $11. I'm now a professional artist. Those $11 bought me a meal. Starving artist no longer. We went places. We read scripture in places. We did a thing called Word on the Street. We went to Lake Michigan, and we went to baseball games, and we developed community, and we went to a bike shop and helped out, and we went to a restaurant, and we asked tough questions. And the church likes to say that we being young people are the church's future. But time and time again, the people in charge of DIG and the people we met through DIG would tell us that this concept was wrong, because we are leaders, or should be leaders, in the church now. And it's our job as leaders to step up now and to find ways to be involved now. And I specifically talked about how to do youth ministry a lot of the time. And I'm going to have a lot more actual content, what we did later on, but this is going to be long. It's already long. So we made lots of friends, we did lots of ridiculous stuff. I came out as non-binary, and we had lots of really good conversations, both about what does that mean at all, and what does that mean in the context of the church. And I had conversations with people about what does that mean for my future as a leader in the church. And the answer is nobody knows but God. But nobody knows anybody's future but God anyway, so it kind of doesn't matter. So to close out, I'm gonna read this. This is a transcription of what I posted on Facebook the day I flew home from DIG. So technically it officially ended Friday, but most people who didn't live in Grand Rapids or the greater Grand Rapids area didn't leave until Saturday. So this is what I posted. I'm sitting at the local airport, waiting for my flight. The other kid from this airport run is gone. His flight earlier than mine, and I didn't really get to send him off. For the first time in 3 weeks, though still surrounded by strangers, I'm alone. DIG has been such an incredible experience. I don't know how to begin unpacking it, even though we did develop elevator pitches, so feel free to ask me about it at church tomorrow. I didn't actually go to church that day, or the next Sunday. I hadn't gone to church in like 5 Sundays, so. And I don't really want to. I'm glad to be seeing my family and friends, and I'm excited to sleep in my own bed, but I wish everyone was coming home with me, or that home was coming to Calvin, or that the DIG reunion would have a more concrete life than the musical we planned. And I'll see the Michigan kids, and a bunch of people are planning on coming to Calvin next year. Plus we've got the Facebook group, everyone's phone number, and our book club. These relationships are long-term. I can feel it in the ache in my heart now. What was the point of DIG? They tell me it was to understand how to enact a vocational calling in any walk of life, not just ministry. But it's so much more. It's to build community, to grow leaders, to teach us to innovate and share while also learn when our ideas are garbage and our assumptions are harmful. In other words, it's to help us live out Micah 6:8, to seek justice and to love mercy. I'm excited to live it out. I may be heartbroken in the short term that we have to leave to do it, but we're not doing it alone. We've got each other, our community at home, people we haven't met yet. And even if all these relationships fade away, which they won't, but if, we've still got the last part of Micah 6:8, to walk humbly with God. That's everyone's vocational calling, whether on DIG or not. And that's it. DIG was 3 weeks of learning how to walk with God, how to lead in ways he wants us to lead, how to let him shine through us. That's it. And I'm gonna tell you how they told us to do it. Secret tunnels and fabricated societies on the beach and musicals about bastardized versions of Canadian history and all. I'm excited, and I know I don't sound it, but tired. And also I'm kind of sick. And I'm also kind of a little bit emotional because I'm actually packing up all my stuff. And I've never moved before, but I'm just so excited to go back because that's where I was. Also, I'm planning on seeing some of these kids very shortly after I get there. So that's cool. And also, it's a lot, and I know there's a lot to cover, but we're gonna get through it. The parts that make me look good and the parts that don't. And it's gonna be a ride. Anyway, there's that. I hope you have a great day.